This isn't just about a quick fix. This is about actually changing your life. Marie says, my intention is to be more present in my life and my family's life. I want to feel again the many joys that surround me. Presence is what gives us joy. And presence often helps us work through pain, right? So one of the first tools is presence. Now let me help you understand how to recognize what presence truly is and how to actually achieve it. Because presence doesn't mean like just being here right now, right? Like there are tools. So the first tool I'm going to share with you is a popular tool that's shared in therapy and psychology. It's called the 5-4-3-2-1 method. It's used in psychology, it's used by therapists, and this is how I believe in using it. If you really want to be present in a moment, when you first walk into a meeting, when you're spending time with your family, when you want to really be centered in the moment, this is how you do it. You look around and go, what are the 5 things I can see? And I want you to do that right now. What are 5 things I can see? So I can see my phone. I can see a book that I have here. I can see my microphone that I have here. That's 3. I can see my bottle of water. That's 4. And I can see my glass. That's 5. 5 things that I can see. And what I want to do is bring my awareness to each of those things in the environment. I can also see the ceiling. I can see the floor. I can see the window. 5 things that you can see around you, and try and make them further away than actually what I said. I made a slight mistake there. So I want you to think about the walls, the ceiling, the floor, the window, the plant, just looking around. So to really bring yourself into the moment. Then 4 things you can touch. So like the things I just said now, book, microphone, water bottle, my glass. Those are 4 things that I can touch, right? So I can touch. I can touch my microphone. 4 things that you can touch. And I want you to touch them. Be present with them. Now, this part requires a bit of in-depth thinking. 3 things that you can hear. And I want you to be still with yourself. I want you to be silent with yourself and go, what can I really hear? So, take a few moments. Close your eyes. Close your eyes for a second. And ask yourself, what are the 3 things that you can hear? What are the 3 things that you can hear? So I can hear birds, I can hear some white noise, and in the distance I can hear my wife's voice. I can hear my wife, she's on a phone call or FaceTiming family or something, I can just hear her. Think how powerful your presence is. When we engage, so first that's 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear. Now 2 things that you can smell. What can you smell? Close your eyes again. And what can you smell? Now I can smell some freshness from being around nature, and I can smell some fresh clothes as well, like freshly washed clothes. And then finally, what can you taste? 1 thing that you can taste. You can taste some toothpaste. I haven't had anything to eat this morning yet so far. So whenever you want to be present in the moment, a tool that you can take on is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. Now, this is used in therapy. It's used in psychology for grounding, especially when you're experiencing anxiety, when you're feeling stress, when you're worried about the future, your mind's just going really, really fast and getting ahead of you. This is a great tool for grounding and balancing and bringing it back to where you are. It's one of my favorite tools. One of my favorite tools. This is also the way of taking a real mental picture. Have you ever had a really beautiful experience and I want to capture this forever? You take out your phone, but you know, sometimes you're like, I don't want to take out my phone, I want to take out a mental picture. I'm sure you've experienced that before. This is how you take a mental picture. What are the 5 things you can see around you, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste? Tara says, wow, this is so powerful. My intention is to follow my heart and passions without worrying what others may think. Amazing. I can see a lot of people talking about presence. Jessica Hale says, I want to stop defaulting to self-sabotage. I want to know I'm worthy and live in the moment, not in a world of fear and regret. I want to feel love and be able to give my love wholly. And presence is such a big part of that. Vanita goes, I've been taking notes, Jay. I'm mentally integrating your teaching with my already secure faith and peace. That's beautiful. I love hearing that. Thank you for sharing that. Leilani says, I love that you mentioned the 5-to-1. We use that to help our kids and ourselves in moments of anxiety, stress, and frustration. That's awesome. Tell me how you're finding this session so far, everyone. It's been so awesome already. And I'd love to hear more about how you're finding this. Heather says, my computer humming, the nearby traffic and silence, otherwise in my apartment. That's awesome. Heartbeat and microphone crackle, says Elle. That's amazing. This is great. Karen says, this method was given to my son in therapy, but now I can see how it will benefit me. Absolutely. Amazing. So imagine that. Imagine you are more present in the moment, therefore you are present with others. Imagine how your relationships will change. When we're constantly distracted, and here's a key that I want to share with you. We think that the opposite of distraction is focus. But the real opposite of distraction is attraction. When you're attracted to something, when you're drawn to something, then you won't be distracted from it. So if you find yourself being distracted from your parents, your family, your work, ask yourself, what is it that you no longer are attracted to about it? Have you not had that tough conversation? Have you not shared a beautiful, loving moment and community? Right? Think about it. What is it that stops you from being attracted to your job? And often, there's difference between needing space and being distracted. And often when we need space, we feel bad. We feel shame. We feel guilt. We're like, oh no, I don't want to be present with my family. Maybe I'm a bad person. That's not true. Sometimes you need space to be more present again. Sometimes you need to disconnect to be more present again. Think about this for a moment. Sometimes you need to have your alone time to be better in relationships. Sometimes you need your privacy, your seclusion, your just calmness and stillness so that you can bring more to those relationships. So don't mistake space for distraction. But if you find yourself getting distracted, ask yourself what you love about your family. Ask yourself what is really powerful about presence with your family. And the best way to do it is to test. There are some great ways of presenting some beautiful ways of connection. Now, a lot of people like to do this popular thing of, okay, we're not going to have phones around meal times. And I used to recommend this too, and I think it's a good step 1. But step 2 in that tool of presence with family or work colleagues is actually come with a game. Come with questions, right? There are some great questions in a game called No Small Talk, where you can actually bring out a question that brings a more dynamic conversation together. This or that questions, choice questions, gamified questions. See, always think of an alternative. If you want to increase presence in your personal and professional relationships, don't just try and take away technology. Add human ingenuity, right? You don't get connection by taking away technology. You get connection by adding creativity, by adding ingenuity. That's where real connection happens. If you want to be really present, if you want to be really, really present. Pam goes, mind-blowing, Jay. I was having an off day until this session started. Now I'm getting back on the path again by surrounding myself with positivity. This is awesome. Tell me how this is going so far. Khadijat says, this is amazing, Jay. The counting does help, and I really want to be a better person so I can bring more to every aspect of my life. That's amazing. Ruxana says, that's a marvelous idea. I never thought about this. Thank you for pointing out that we need space to come back. Isabel goes, wow, Jay, this is just what I needed. I've been super stressed and wanting to have my own space to just recharge again. Absolutely. Rhaenyra says, as an introvert, this is so necessary, creating space and grounding, having presence with myself, not only with people around me. And this is what I was suggesting to people, and I've seen it on social media as well. And I think about it, we have meetings with everyone scheduled in the day. And I saw this, that we don't have a meeting with yourself. Imagine one of your meetings on your schedule just said the word me. How freeing would that be? How powerful and beautiful would that be? And let me give you a tool of what a meeting with yourself looks like. Because you may be saying, Jay, I know what agendas are for meetings with other people. What's an agenda with a meeting with myself? And so many of us need this right now. We're drained. I know you're drained. I know you're tired. I know you're exhausted. I know you're feeling the pain. And that's why the Genius community that we've built has been such a powerful way where people have been able to come together and learn these skills on a weekly basis. And it's something that we so often miss, something that we don't understand, right? Something that we just... The key here is recognizing to have a time with yourself. When we talk about presence, we talked about presence with other people. What does it mean to have a meeting, a present with yourself? What does that mean? This is what it means. To ask yourself 3 questions. Imagine if you took 5 minutes a day, you actually scheduled it, and you had a meeting with yourself. And in that meeting, you ask yourself these 3 questions. Hey, how are you doing today? And instead of just lying or rushing through it, really answering that question for yourself. Hey, how are you doing today? Second question. How are you really doing today? You have to ask it twice. The mind will try and get away with a superficial answer. And the third one, what can we do to make your day better today? These are questions that we ask our friends, we ask our family, we ask our colleagues, but they never be asked to us. And we're always waiting for someone to ask us these questions, aren't we? Aren't we always waiting for someone to ask us these questions? When in reality, we have to ask them to ourselves first. When you start asking yourself these questions, you will start attracting the right energy into your life. Because when you ask yourself, how do you really feel? You're like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm drained. And then you say, well, what can we do to get better at it? Oh, I think sleeping early. I think talking to this one friend. I think, you start having that communication and dialogue with yourself. And that's the key of presence, is starting to have a dialogue with yourself. Olivia Gonzalez says, thank you for all the wonderful tips and tools. I need to take time for myself so I can come back and be fully present for my family. I haven't done that in a long time. Exactly, Olivia. And don't see disconnecting as separating, right? You don't need to see taking space as running away from your problems. If you can't build your personal strength, if you can't carve out that time that's needed for yourself, then how much of it can give? The more you give to yourself, the more you have to give to others. It's as simple as that. So if you're saying you want to give to others, if you're saying you want to be present with your family, you have to give to yourself first. Sarah Louise Plank says, this is amazing. I'm going to use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to be present whenever I need it. I'm distracted a lot in my job, thinking about what will happen tomorrow. I appreciate and empathize with that, Sarah, so much. Jean Hamilton says, I always make sure to make me time, even if I only get to read a page or 2 of my book. I will not deprive myself of that. I love that. Emily, so this is a good present. She's saying the opposite. I have too many meetings with myself. I'm going crazy. I need to socialize with people more, but I'm often feeling out of place in a group. Great. And that shifts us to our second tool for today, which is all about positive versus negative energy. See, being with yourself, you can create positive energy, and being with others, you can create positive energy. Being with yourself, you can create negative energy, and being with others, you can also create negative energy. Energy is something that is transferred, right? Once energy is created, it's transferred. It doesn't just disappear and get destroyed. It's transferred. And often energy is transferred like